I was 9 years old when my mother was diagnosed with stomach cancer. Life was perfect. My parents had a successful business, we had a nice home. We had a camp we would go to and a boat. It was a perfect life, and all that came crumbling down. My reaction to my sister Jennifer being diagnosed with stomach cancer, my first thought was, it's happening again, and I couldn't understand why it would happen to our family twice. Unfortunately, it brought everything back, and I knew what was going to happen. It was just as hard as an adult as it was as a child. Doctors suggested there could be a genetic link. We didn't find out till after Jennifer passed that we did test positive. The risk of getting cancer with this genetic mutation, it varies on the studies, but it's upwards of 70% chance of developing in your life. When I tested positive for the genetic mutation, I'd already had my mind made up that I would have the surgery. One of the easiest factors for doing it was my other sister, Shelley, had gone through it first. It was easier to see the road that I would be going down. But knowing I had someone there with me the whole time helped. The biggest supporter was my wife, Nikki. She helped, and she really educated herself too with the meals and eating and all that, the stuff that goes along with it. Before the surgery, they found no traces of cancer, and at the time of the surgery, they found no traces of cancer, but more further biopsies found 5 tumors. So that just reaffirmed how important it was to go with the surgery. Having the surgery allowed me to have children of my own and continue with a life and have a great life. I feel 100% I rewrote my future. Had I not gone with the surgery, I wouldn't be around to enjoy these moments. Research funded by the Canadian Cancer Society saved mine and my sister's life.